And now we present to you the 2015 World Series champion Cleveland Indians. Nah, I'm just playing. What's up, guys? I'm back at you with another sports vlog. Now I want to say this before I get any further in the video. When the Kansas City Royals had lost to the San Francisco Giants last year in the World Series, I knew they were going to come back this year and probably win it. I had predicted it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were just so close to finishing that Cinderella run they had a year ago. And it was heartbreaking to watch them lose last year. Because, a lot of people from the American League wanted the Royals to win because it would have represented us well. Because as being an Indians fan, it would have represented the American League very well. The New York Mets, okay? Before I get any further in the Royals, congratulations to the New York Mets on a unexpected and a rather phenomenal season the Kansas City the New York Mets had this year. I guarantee you, from spring training, the way it looked, nobody thought the New York Mets would even be third place in the division, yet alone win their division. Daniel Murphy goes on a run we've seen Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, Hank Aaron, and Lou Gehrig go on. You know what I'm saying? Where this guy homered in 6 straight postseason games. 6 straight postseason games. He was absolutely ridiculous. It was crazy. I think also the one thing you gotta look at is from the start of this World Series, everybody knew that the Royals were most likely going to win it this year. I love supporting my tribe town, I'm sorry. But the Royals were favored to win it this year, especially considering how they were this close to winning it last year, but they were also this close to losing in the first round of the Houston Astros. But a costly error by, I think that was Carlos Correa, made that error. He made a costly error that ended up giving the Royals another chance. Royals ended up rallying. They ended up going to a Game 5. Johnny Cueto was brilliant. The rest is history. Kansas City moved on. You can't steal what Kansas City did this year. Like, they were so great out the get-go. Like, they had their eyes set on the World Series after April. Because, I'm even sure they had their eyes set on the World Series after last year's postseason loss. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were right there. They were right there. They were so close. They were right there. They had to rally multiple times in that series. I think they were down in the wild card game at home to Oakland. They were down, I think, the 2 games against the Angels. They were down the 1 game to Baltimore, and then they were down the 1 game to the Giants. But just a fantastic run by the Kansas City Royals. Congratulations to every one of their players from the top down of that organization. They truly deserved it. They were the best team in baseball. And the thing about it is they played small ball. They're not like, the Detroit Tigers, who have home run hitters like Miguel Cabrera and J.D. Martinez and Victor Martinez. And at one point, they actually had Yoenis Cespedes and then traded him to the Mets. Boy, that trade looked really good for the Mets. And I don't think the Mets... I think I read an article, I think on I don't know if it was Yahoo Sports, but it stated that the Mets are probably not going to re-sign Yoenis Cespedes. They'll pursue him maybe for another year or two, but they're probably not going to re-sign him. They were only looking at Yoenis Cespedes for a potential World Series run. But it was a great run for the New York Mets, and there was nothing to steal away from them. What the Kansas City Royals did well was they forced the New York Mets to play at their level, which we all know will lead up to errors. And obviously, the way I look at it, we're going to do something I like to do in, like, a way of clinching it out, okay? We have the top 3 winners and the top 3 losers of this series. I'll go with my first winner. Obviously, the Kansas City Royals. And the Royals were the winners, the first winner. The Mets were the first loser. Second winners and second losers. My second winner probably has to go to Eric Hosmer. I think Eric Hosmer had a great postseason. He obviously beat, I think, George Brett's postseason RBI record for the most by a Royal, as young as he is. My second loser for the Mets probably has to be Lucas Duda. Lucas Duda was looked at to be maybe the X factor for the New York Mets, but he just wasn't good in the postseason in the series, in the World Series. He just wasn't good. My second winner my third and final winner for the Royals has to be by far their World Series MVP, Salvador Perez. I think Salvador Perez had a great series. I think with his ability to get on base by getting hits after hits, really kind of helped the Kansas City Royals, because it helped the fact that he was at the bottom of the order and realizing, okay, Escobar's coming up with Zobrist and then Kane and then Hosmer. They use a line called move down the line, or I think it's like keep the line moving or something like that. Yeah, I think it was keep the line moving. But they're relentless. They are a relentless team this year. That we've seen what they did. They had to come back, if I remember, they had to come back 3 times against the Astros. They had to come back, really, I think, 1 time against Toronto. Yeah, 1 time against Toronto. And then they had the 3 comebacks against the New York Mets. 3 of their 4 World Series wins this year in this World Series came against the New York Mets in rallying fashion. But I can't congratulate this team anymore. I don't like the team because they're in my division as being an Indians fan. But whether you're an Indians or a Tigers or a Minnesota Twin fan or even a Chicago White Sox fan, you have to admit they had a great year. They got great pickups this year. I think the biggest pickup was the one pitcher, Edinson Volquez. Picking up Volquez was a big deal. That was a really impressive pickup for them. Also picking up their only 100 RBI man this year, Kendrys Morales. That was huge too. But no, I'm serious with all doubt. Congratulations to the Kansas City Royals. Congratulations to the New York Mets. They made it an interesting World Series, but clearly the Royals had just way too better of a team, way too better talent. And really, I didn't go over my third and final loser. My third and final loser probably has to go to Jeurys Familia. The Mets' outstanding closer who blew, I think, was it 4 or 3? No, because Jeurys Familia had Johnny Cueto finished Game 2 by himself. He pitched a complete game in Game 2. That's right. Johnny Cueto had a complete game two-hitter against the Mets in Game 2. But yeah, in all the games in which the Mets had the lead, Jeurys Familia blew it. The outstanding closer for the New York Mets, Jeurys Familia, blew it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But, I mean, goes to show you that, I mean, who really performed and who really didn't. But your 2015 World Series champions, Kansas City Royals, congratulations on a great year. Thank you, baseball, for making it a fun year. It truly was an awesome year. I expect it to be better next year, and I can't wait to talk more about Cleveland Indians, and hopefully they can be a World Series championship team next year. Go Indians, go Cowboys. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.